Good morning. I'm Catherine, and I'm here with my all-star client, Brenda. And we're just sitting in the back room at the gym today. And Brenda has agreed to kind of come on and share her story and her journey to become more fit and more healthy, and working with me for some time now. So I'll start off by saying some good words about Brenda. She has been very dedicated to her health journey since we started back in March or April. She always shows up to every session and takes them seriously and works really hard. She's done a great job to record her food for me, and we go over that every once in a while to ensure just some accountability and making sure that, making the best choices and that kind of thing for optimal health. She's also done the Metabolic Makeover Program, which is the 5 supplements that I have through Univera to kind of help with blood glucose control and energy and that kind of thing. So Brenda has had a history with some other programs that she's tried in the past, so that's why I think it's interesting to kind of highlight why this one has been working for her and she's seen some good success. So we'll let Brenda talk, and she can maybe start by telling us, off the top of your mind, maybe like the biggest impact you've had for your health. You know what the biggest one is?
Well, personally, strength and weight loss.
Okay.
I put that together.
Yeah.
Knowing that, being detached from the numbers on the scale is huge too.
Mm-hmm.
And that my clothes are fitting and I don't have to buy new clothes to fit a new size.
Awesome.
The winter pack on chub time.
Yeah.
And I can't separate one from the other, but overall, I'm way healthier and way stronger, and I am not in pain.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk more about that. Definitely, though, I get excited over the strength and the fitness parts. And just this last week, we kind of had an eye-opener, because the first time Brenda and I had a session, a lunge was a challenging exercise, and I'm not sure if you are familiar with a lunge, but it took us a while to be able to have the balance and the strength to perform a lunge. And now just this past week, we were doing lunges onto a BOSU with weights, so a lot more stability factor and that kind of thing. So that was exciting for me to see Brenda's improvements in balance and strength in the lower body. And I also do this exercise where I wrap kind of a cord around the waist, and then the client charges off, and I'm kind of behind trying to hold them back. And we were laughing because the first time Brenda did that last summer, it wasn't too much of a challenge for me. I kind of just tried to hold her back, but then this past Thursday, I couldn't barely hold her back. I was using all my might to kind of hold her back. So that was really cool. So definitely a lot stronger.
And I can tell you that was a super strong cord.
Yes.
A super strong cord. Yeah.
And how much weight have you lost?
Well, the last time when I actually really paid attention to numbers on a scale, I think it was about 21.
Okay, awesome.
However, I do like the reward of what a scale's positive number decrease is for me, but I do know with my clothing, I'm down probably 2 sizes.
Awesome.
Sure, 2 sizes to 3 sizes, depending on the stretch factor and any item of clothing.
Yes. Cool. So that's really exciting to be rewarded in in those kind of ways. So let's talk more about maybe aches and pains. Can you talk more about that?
It was December 2012 when I suffered a recurrent back injury again, which flattened me out in bed, which I know is not the right thing, but I literally was unable to stand. I was crawling, and I just said, this is the last time that I have such, a debilitating back, whatever it was, spasm. I didn't need to go to the doctor, but it was a recurrent injury. Mm-hmm. The other thing, too, is I have had quite a good history of migraine headaches, particularly on the right side of my neck. On top of that, 3 car accidents, which were not my fault, but I was rear-ended on each one of those episodes, which contributed to a lot of recurrent neck strain, neck pain. I'm sure it triggered off some of my migraine headaches, and honestly, when you have migraine headaches, so often you forget what it's like not to have pain and live through pain and to go through to work through pain. And I know Catherine asked me one day how my headaches have been, and I had to actually think about it. I couldn't remember when the last time I had a full blown on where, I needed to, grovel for medication and, just completely change my life in a day kind of thing to get through a headache. So
I liked that session that we had. It was like all of a sudden we both realized that, and I think we attributed that a lot to better nutrition too, taking some of the gluten and processed foods and that kind of thing out of the diet. And it was just kind of, you had realized, whoa, I haven't had a headache in forever. So that was really neat, and I love hearing that kind of stuff too.
And definitely one thing I did forget to say as we've chatted this morning is I had changed my diet significantly. What I eat, but it wasn't like I didn't count calories. It was just the types of foods that I did not eat, which it was lower carb for sure, and as much gluten free as I could do. I wasn't 100%, but as much as I could do.
Yeah. Perfect. Yes, you did make a lot of changes, and we're still working together on just eating a lot more whole foods, making sure there's enough protein, the right kind of carbs at the right times, and that kind of thing. Good. And we're actually going to meet after this and talk about that. The other notes I have here, it was just, maybe you can touch on how things don't necessarily get easier with the training, but you get used to it, you know what I mean? Like the first couple months, couple sessions, there were times where you wanted to get teary and it was challenging, but
I would describe it to Catherine as, I'm willing to be directed with exercise, and I will follow instructions, and I know some of the things I couldn't do, and some of them, like, my strength I felt shattered, like emotionally shattered. And I liken it to some of the clips I see if I ever watch this show on TV called The Biggest Loser, where people have kind of meltdowns inside. I wasn't that dramatic, but I really felt it. Like I was just like, I was so upset with myself that my body was in such a place of no strength and stamina, and thoughts were going through my head at different times, like, how could I do this? How could I eat this way? It just was this vicious gerbil in my brain. Saying negative things.
Yes. And I think that's an important thing to realize, because every person that I start with not every person, many people I start with go through that same period where it's, getting hard on yourself about where you've been, but it's just about getting over that hump and realizing, okay, I let some things go for a little while, but now I'm getting back into it. I'm stronger, I'm fitter, this is getting more manageable, like I know my limits, I know how I can push myself and that kind of thing. Good. I think the other thing we should mention is you had like a minor surgery at the end of last year, which affected the upper body, but I think that you didn't stop coming in. We still work out twice a week, the lower body and the cardio and core and that kind of thing. So even though you had a surgery, it didn't hinder your journey.
I was for sure quite concerned that having like the post-operative period, which I was supposed to be not doing anything for 2 weeks, and I just went, oh my gosh, I'm going to slide backwards. And I knew that there were things that I could do for sure, lower body, and I talked with, actually we partnered with my physiotherapist, with you, with your kinesiology background. It's all worked out, and I listen to my body if I've got aches and pains the next day or whatever, and we just sort of adapt it. But I can't stop. I can't stop. It's
a lifestyle.
Momentum. Yeah. That's right.
I think it's interesting. I'm planning to do a snowshoe for the different people that I work with, and it was interesting because about a year ago when we started, Brenda had just gone on like a small snowshoe trip with a group of ladies, and it was extremely challenging for her to use the snowshoes and lift the legs over the snowbanks and that kind of thing. So when she came in, she was still sore from that trip and shared some of the challenges. So I think it's going to be really cool when we do go on this snowshoe trip to just see you. No problem.
I remember coming in and telling you, like, I just couldn't even lift my leg over a small snowbank to get up. Like, it was awful. Yeah. And I thought it was fit. I really did. because I have a partly physical job, you know.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty funny.
So those are kind of the main things, the main successes that I've seen. Is there anything else you want to share that if someone else was thinking about getting started, or
If you have that niggle inside you, meaning that you're thinking about getting started, why aren't you starting?
Yes.
Why aren't you starting? Because that's doubt can mean don't, but if you've got these question marks that keep popping up into your whole psyche, is like, just be willing to put one foot forward. Just be willing. And that's for me too. It's like, I can think and think and think, but it's the getting there. And so I get there now, and I know what it feels like to leave a workout, and I know what it's like to have a day where I don't work out, or a week where I don't work out if I'm on a vacation or something, and I'm not working out at the level that we work out as a pair. Absolutely. Just
get started.
Just start. It's an inch by inch process. There are days where you don't want to work out, but do it anyway.
Yeah.
Do it anyway.
Perfect. Well, that was awesome. That was about 11 minutes. So I'd like to thank Brenda for taking her time on a Saturday morning to come in and share with her experience, and hopefully maybe motivate or inspire someone else who's thinking about, whether it's with me or just, getting on some kind of structured program to get started to a better lifestyle and optimal health. So
see you next time.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a part 2.
Yes. The finale when you're at your goal. Okay. Bye.
Bye.